Very good afternoon to one and all. I welcome you all for the next lecture of heat transfer. Please let me know whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Great. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the falling factor, okay, and what will be the falling factor for tubular exchangers. So on the basis of overall heat transfer coefficient, what will be the overall heat transfer coefficient for on the basis of external surface, if you consider the falling factor, and what will be the overall heat transfer coefficient if you consider the internal heat if you consider the internal surface, and if you are considering the falling factor. Okay, so that we have discussed in the last lecture. So next factor, or the next factor we are going to discuss in this particular lecture about the heat exchanger, that is nothing but correction factor. Okay, factor for multiple arrangement. Okay, so we know that here I made a mistake. I've written a q. Okay, so here I have to write the theta m. Theta suffix m. Okay, so the expression whatever we have discussed for the LMTD, that is logarithmic mean temperature difference. So theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln of theta 1 divided by theta 2. Now this particular expression is valid or applicable for the single pass heat exchangers. Okay, single pass heat exchangers, that is nothing but what, the fluid is not circulated once again in that particular shell, or in that concentric tube or annulus. Okay, so the fluid will pass one time only through the given surface area, and that particular heat exchanger will be considered as a single pass heat exchanger. So this formula whatever we have discussed for LMTD, for parallel flow and for the counter flow, so that formula is useful for the single pass heat exchanger. Okay, for the single pass heat exchanger. Then in case of a shell and tube heat exchanger, in shell and tube heat exchanger, if there are multiple passes are there, if there are multiple passes are there, and or in some cases if there is a cross flow type of heat exchanger is there, and there are multiple passes of the fluid inside the shell is there. So in that case we have to make some modification in this particular formula, or our given formula of heat transfer rate, total heat transfer rate, that is nothing but q is equal to u multiply by a multiply by theta m. So in that particular formula we have to make some correction in case of a multiple passes, or in case of a cross flow multiple passes heat exchangers. Okay, so what will be the correction? So correction, we have to make that, we have to write the formula. In that case q is equal to u multiply by a multiply by f multiply by theta m. Okay, so our initial formula was u multiply by a multiply by theta m only, but here we have added one factor called as a correction factor. Okay, f is the correction factor. So this correction factor will correct the equation, or we can say that whatever the error is occurred in a single pass and multiple pass, so that particular error will be occupied by this particular correction factor, and the result will be more accurate in this case. Okay, if you are using the correction factor for the multiple classes. Okay, now how to determine this correction factor? Okay, that is one point, how to determine this particular correction factor. So these correction factors are provided by Bonman, Mueller, Nagel and Tema. Okay, Tema is one kind of a authority. Okay, for the tubular exchanger. Okay, association, we can say that. So this tubular exchanger manufacturing association also provided as a heat exchanger, and this particular tema regulate all the rules related to the TEMA provides all the standards related to the heat exchanger. Okay, TEMA provides all the standards related to heat exchanger. So one can say that this is the globalized standardization. So you can say that the ISO standard, or in machine design there are some standard. Okay, so similar fashion, this is a this is one kind of a standard which is used globally. Okay, TEMA, that is Tubular Exchanger Manufacturing Association. Okay, and this TEMA also provides the multiple graphs to find out this particular correction factor. Okay, so graphs are different for the different passes. Okay, so these particular graphs are depend on non-dimensional variables. Okay, so which are that non-dimensional variation? The first one is the temperature ratio. Okay, first one is the temperature ratio, and this temperature ratio is defined as the ratio of rise in temperature of the cold fluid to the difference in the inlet temperature of a fluid. Okay, the rise in temperature of a cold fluid to the difference in the inlet temperature of a tube fluid. Okay, so P factor, this temperature ratio also known as a P factor. So P is equal to rise in temperature of a cold fluid, that is nothing but TC2 minus TC1. Okay, divided by inlet temperature difference of a tube fluid, that is TH1 minus, here I have to write TC1. Okay, inlet temperature difference of a tube fluid, that is TH1 minus TC1. So this is the one factor, P factor, and the another factor is nothing but capacity ratio. Okay, so it is the heat capacity ratio of a tube fluid. So it can be defined as the ratio of the product of mass flow rate times the heat capacity of a fluid. The ratio of the product of mass flow rate times the heat capacity. So you can say that CH divided by CC. Okay, so CH is nothing but M dot C multiplied by CPC divided by CC. CH is nothing but M dot H multiplied by CPH. Okay, so CC divided by CH, we can say that, and it is represented by the R factor. Okay, which is the ratio of heat capacity, product of mass flow rate heat capacity of the fluid. Okay, and it will be represented as R. So CPC multiplied by M dot C divided by CPH multiplied by M dot H is nothing but R. Now we know that the heat gain, or heat gain by the cold fluid is equal to the heat rejected by the hot fluid. Okay, we know that this particular formula, that how much amount of heat is rejected by the hot fluid, and that much amount of heat will be gained by the cold fluid by considering all the assumptions. Okay, that is the heat exchanger is insulated and there is no potential and kinetic energy changes in the heat exchanger, or we have to consider the negligible kinetic energy and potential energy changes, and there will not be any heat leakage from the heat exchanger to the external surrounding. So by considering that all the assumptions, so we can say that the heat rejected by hot fluid, which will be equal to the heat gained by the cold fluid. So by using this relation, heat rejected by hot fluid, we know that M dot C heat received, here there is a jungle, heat rejected by hot fluid is CPH, or M dot H multiplied by CPH multiplied by TH1 minus TH2, and heat gain by the cold fluid is nothing but CPC multiplied by M dot C, okay, multiplied by TC2 minus TC1. Then we can say that CPC multiplied by M dot C divided by CPH multiplied by M dot C, M dot H will be equal to TH1 minus TH2 divided by TC2 minus TC1. So once again, we, instead of considering this particular ratio, CPC multiplied by M dot C divided by CPH multiplied by M dot H, so we can consider this particular ratio, that TH1 minus TH2 divided by TC1 minus TC2 minus TC1, where TH1 minus TH2 is nothing but heat rejected by the hot fluid, okay, or temperature drop of hot fluid, divided by rise in temperature of a cold fluid. Okay, rise in temperature of a cold fluid. So how to use this particular factor? So these factors are used in such a graphs. Okay, so this is the graph this is the graph of correction factor for heat exchange within one shell pass and two or more or any multiple of tube passes. Okay, so जब भी एक शेल होती है और टू के मल्टीपल में नंबर ऑफ पासेस होते हैं, तो उस केस में हम ये ग्राफ यूज कर सकते हैं. सो दिस ग्राफ इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय टेमा, ओके, और म्यूलर और नेगी. So these are the scientist name and TEMA is the association. So we can, and these are the standard graphs. Okay, so one can use these graphs and one can find out the correction factor. So how to find out the correction factor from this particular graph? So we can say that the p factors, okay, 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 up to 1.0 are provided on x-axis, or we can say that at the bottom side. Okay, and whereas the r factors, so this curvature lines are provided on this particular graphs, so that represent the r factor. Okay, that particular lines are representing the r factor. If the screen is the graph is not visible, I request you to zoom this particular figure so that you will be the diagram will be more visible to you. Okay, so this the curvature lines on these graphs represent the r factor. Okay, so 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, 1.5. So intermediate diagrams also can be plotted. These are the given diagram. Okay, so intermediate diagram, if you want to draw, so if you want to say that r3, I'm getting r 3.5, so in that case you have to draw the one line which is parallel to these two lines. Okay, intermediate in between these two lines. Okay, and you can take that particular r value. Now if I say that I'm getting r 4.0 and my p value is 0.2, so then I will check that 0.2 is here and straight line joining to this r 4.2 4.0. So I'm getting the interconnection of these 2 points here at this particular location. Okay, 0.2 and 4.0, and I extend that particular intersection to y-axis. Okay, to y-axis, and on y-axis the correction factor you will get. Okay, on y-axis you will get the correction factor. Okay, so if I extend this line, I will get this particular point on y-axis, so which is in between 0.7 and 0.8. So I can say that the correction factor is 0.75 or 0.75. So in this fashion, you have to calculate the correction factor for the multiple passes. And in case of multiple passes or multiple shells, in that case, if you are applying the logarithmic mean temperature difference and you have to calculate the rate of heat transfer, in that case you have to consider the equation of Q is equal to U multiplied by A multiplied by F multiplied by theta m. Okay, where U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, A is the surface area, equivalent surface area available for the heat transfer, theta m is the logarithmic mean temperature difference, or if you get the AMTD, if the ratio of theta 1 to theta 2 is less than 1.7, in that case you have to use the AMTD. Okay, so in that case you have to consider the theta a, and where F is nothing but the correction factor. So in that case you have to calculate the correction factor from this particular graphs. Okay, then if there are n number of graphs available, so this is this is the graph for correction factor plot for heat exchanger with 2 shell passes and 2, 4, 8 or multiple of a tube passes. Now you can come to know that. So what is meant by passes? So if single pass means what? The fluid is flowing only one direction. Okay, now here if it is happening, so in that case we can use the general heat transfer equation, that is Q is equal to U multiplied by A multiplied by theta m. But the fluid having 2 passes. Okay, so fluid is flowing in this direction also, and once again the fluid is flowing through that particular shell in opposite direction. So that fluid will be passes two times in the shell. So this is the two pass single shell heat exchanger. So that will be the passes. Okay, and if you are considering the multiple shells, okay, multiple shells. So two shells are there, and the inside fluid or the inner fluid passing through the tube is passes two times in a one shell and two times in another shell. So that will be the two shell four passes heat exchanger. Okay, two shell four passes heat exchanger. So in that case you have to consider the different chart. Okay, so here also you have to take the same uh, logic to calculate the correction factor or to consider the correction factor. Okay, so in this fashion you have to calculate the correction factor. Getting everyone about the correction factor? When we have to use the correction factor? When there are multiple passes. Okay, multiple shells and multiple passes are there, or single shell and multiple passes are there. So in that case we have to use the correction factor, because uh, uh, the whatever the equation we have calculated for LMTD for parallel flow and LMTD for counter flow, that equations are useful only for the single pass heat exchanger. Okay, that equations are useful for the single pass heat exchanger, and if there are multiple passes, then there should be use of correction factor in the equation. Okay, there should be use of correction factor in the equation. Getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt about this correction factor? So you can write correction factor for multiple arrangement. Correction factor for multiple arrangement. Okay, sorry for the interruption. You can write correction factor for multiple arrangement. In that, the expression theta m will be equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln of theta 1 divided by theta 2. For LMTD, is essentially valid for is essentially valid for single pass heat exchanger, is essentially valid for single pass heat exchanger, is essentially valid for single pass heat exchanger. Single pass heat exchanger. The analytical treatment of multipass shell and tube heat exchanger, the analytical treatment of multipass shell and tube heat exchangers and cross flow heat exchangers is much more difficult than single pass cases. It's much more difficult than single pass cases. Comma, such cases may be analyzed. Okay, such cases may be analyzed by using the following equation. Such cases may be analyzed by using following equation. The equation is Q is equal to U multiplied by A multiplied by F multiplied by theta m. Q is equal to U multiplied by A multiplied by F multiplied by theta m. Where F is equal to correction factor, where F is equal to correction factor, where F is equal to correction factor, and these correction factors are given or taken from the charts. These correction factors are given or taken from chart which are prepared by Bowman, comma Mueller, comma Nagle, and Tema, capital T, capital E, capital M, capital A. So you can write the full form of Tema because this is also one type of a MCQ. Tubular Exchanger Manufacturing Association. Tubular Exchanger Manufacturing Association. Tubular Exchanger Manufacturing Association. So write down the full form also. For representation, next, for representation of correction factor, for representation of correction factor, they have taken two non-dimensional variables. They have taken two non-dimensional variables. They have taken two non-dimensional variables, namely, 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 first one, temperature ratio in bracket P. First one, temperature ratio in bracket P, in bracket P, the ratio of rise in temperature, the ratio of rise in temperature of the cold fluid, of the cold fluid to the difference in the inlet temperature of two fluid, to the difference in the inlet temperature of two fluid, to the difference in the inlet temperature of two fluid. Okay, so P will be equal to Tc2 minus Tc1, that will be the rise in temperature of a cold fluid, and inlet temperature difference of two fluid is Th1 minus Tc1. Then second one, capacity ratio, capacity ratio, capacity ratio. In that you can write the ratio of the product of, the ratio of the product of, the ratio of the products of the mass flow rate times, the mass flow rate times, the mass flow rate times the heat capacity, the mass flow rate times the heat capacity, the mass flow rate times the heat capacity of the fluid, mass flow rate times the heat capacity of the fluid. So R is equal to Cp suffix C multiplied by m dot C, Cp suffix C multiplied by m dot C, whole divided by Cph multiplied by m dot H, whole divided by Cph multiplied by m dot H. Cph multiplied by m dot H. As we know that, as we know that heat rejected by hot fluid, heat rejected by hot fluid, heat rejected by hot fluid is equal to heat gained by the cold fluid, heat gained by the cold fluid. Then we can write heat rejected as Cph multiplied by m dot H multiplied by Th1 minus Th2, and heat gained by the cold fluid we can write as Cpc multiplied by m dot C multiplied by Tc2 minus Tc1. And if you take Cpc multiplied by m dot C divided by Cph multiplied by m dot H on one side, then you will get R is equal to Th1 minus Th2 divided by Tc2 minus Tc1. Okay, so one of the diagram you can draw, correction factor diagram. Draw one of the diagram for the understanding purpose. Okay, over. So we'll take one problem in this lecture and one problem in the next lecture. So you can write the problem statement. Problem 1. A counter flow double pipe heat exchanger using hot water exchanger using hot water at the rate of 10,500 kg per hour at the rate of 10,500 kg per hour, full stop. The steam enters the heat exchanger at 180 degrees Celsius, 180 degrees Celsius, and leaves at 130 degrees Celsius, and leaves at 130 degrees Celsius, full stop. The inlet and exit temperatures of water are 30 degrees Celsius and 80 degrees Celsius respectively, full stop. If overall heat transfer coefficient, if overall heat transfer coefficient from steam to water is 814 watt per meter square degree Celsius, full stop. Calculate the heat transfer area, full stop. What would be the increase in area if fluid flow were parallel, full stop. Take specific heat of water 4.187 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay. So now here in this particular problem, through one section the hot fluid is flowing. Okay, double pipe heat exchanger, that but concentric tube heat exchanger is there, and through one pipe hot fluid is flowing, and through another hot fluid as steam is flowing, and through another pipe water is flowing, and the steam is having the higher temperature, that is the entry temperature of a steam is 180 degrees Celsius, and exit temperature of a steam is 130 degrees Celsius. Okay, and while flowing through the heat exchanger, that particular steam will transfer the heat to the water, and water inlet temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, and due to the heat transfer we will get the exit temperature of water as 80 degrees Celsius. Now the overall heat transfer coefficient is already provided, and we need to calculate the heat transfer area. Okay, we need to calculate the heat transfer area, and what will be the increased area if fluid flow were parallel. Now we have to consider the same conditions for the temperatures, and if you consider the parallel flow, what will be the area required to transfer that particular that amount of heat in case of a parallel flow, that amount of heat in case of a parallel flow. So here you can write the given data. Okay, so first of all, they have provided the mass flow rate. Okay, so we can say that m dot w. Okay, so which is equal to how much? 1500 kg per hour. Okay, so we have to convert this into a kg per second. So we need to divide 1500 by 3600. Okay, and calculate it in a kg per second. Okay, so that will be in a kg per second. Then we have the temperature T suffix H1, that is the temperature of a hot fluid, which is equal to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, then TH2 how much? 130 degrees Celsius. TH2, here I will change to TH2. Okay, and 130. Okay, then further TC1 is provided. So TC1, cold fluid temperature, TC1 is 30 degrees Celsius, and TC2 is 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, 80 degrees Celsius. Then U is provided. U is equal to how much? 814 watt per meter square degree Celsius. U is equal to 18 watt per meter square degree Celsius. Okay. So first of all, if you are considering the counter flow heat exchanger, okay. So counter flow heat exchanger, I will take the diagram of counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so this is the diagram. If you check, so just I want. So you need not to draw the complete diagram. Just show theta1 and theta2 and counter flow arrangement. Okay. Okay. So this is the counter flow heat exchanger. Now in this, so what is meant by theta1? Okay. What is meant by theta1? First of all, calculate theta1 and then theta2. Theta1, which is equal to T suffix H1 minus T suffix C2. Okay, T suffix C2. Okay, so what is our H1? T suffix H1 180 and T suffix C2 is 80. So it will be equal to 100. Okay, theta1 will get 100. So in a similar fashion, we have to calculate the theta2 for the counter flow. Theta2 is equal to TH2 minus TC1. Okay, so TH2 is 130 and TC1 is 30. Okay, so once again we will get the 100 only. Okay, so what is the case? What is this case? Here we have to consider, here the case is theta1 is equal to theta2. Okay, case is theta 1 is equal to theta 2, and we have discussed this particular case. What we have to perform in this case? Theta 1 is equal to theta 2. Okay, so we can consider theta m as theta. Okay, we have to consider theta m is equal to only theta. Okay, only theta. Okay, so then our equation, Q equation, Q will be equal to U multiply by A multiply by theta only. Q is equal to U multiply by A multiply by theta only. Now we can calculate this Q by using energy balance equation. Okay, so for that purpose we require specific heat and the mass flow rate. Here the mass flow rate of cold fluid is provided. Okay, mass flow rate. So mass flow rate of water is provided. Water is cold fluid. So we have to consider that the heat gain by the cold fluid. Okay, heat gain by the cold fluid. Okay, therefore we can say that heat gain by cold fluid. Okay, so heat gain by cold fluid, how we can write? Q is equal to m dot c multiply by CPC multiply by T suffix C2 minus T suffix C1. Okay, so we know m dot c, mass flow rate, CPC, and TC2 and TC1 also. So we can calculate Q. We can calculate Q. So put up all the values. M dot C how much? Have you done the calculation for 10500 divided by 3600? CPC value. CPC value, I will write here, multiply by CPC. How much provided CPC? 4.187, and it is in a kilojoule. So we have to consider 4.187 multiply by 10 to the power 3. Okay, 10 to the power 3. TC2 is 80 degree, 80 minus TC1 is 30. Okay, TC1 is 30. So do calculation and find out Q, and please let me know your Q value. Q value. And we know that Q is equal to U multiply by A multiply by theta. Okay, Q is equal to U multiply by A multiply by theta. Now here, once you calculate the Q value, you know the Q value, then U value is provided, overall heat transfer coefficient value is provided as a given data, and theta we have considered as this is the case of theta 1 is equal to theta 2, so theta m will be equal to theta, so we have to consider the 100. Okay, and we can calculate the area directly. We can calculate the area. So in case of counter flow heat exchanger, that area we will get in case of a counter flow heat exchanger. So please let me know the value of a Q, everyone. Zero point 6106. 0.6106. Okay, it is in joule per second or kilojoule per second. How you are calculating? Please check once again. Namrata, please check once again the value. Anybody else other are getting the same value 0.61? So it is 10 raised to 6 or 10 raised to 3 or only that much value? Okay, right. Now it is correct value. 610.60 multiply by 10 raised to 3. Okay, 10 raised to 3 and its unit is joule per second. Okay, joule per second. Now calculate A now. Calculate A now. Okay, so Q, just put up this particular value, Q value, which is equal to U. How much provided? U value 814. So put up 814 multiply by area multiply by theta is 100. Now calculate A and please let me know the A value. 8.244. Okay. Please check once again. Right, 7.5 something, 7.5, right, 7.5 and its unit is meter square. Right, now consider the parallel flow arrangement once again. Parallel flow arrangement for the same temperature condition. Okay, now in parallel flow arrangement, the fluids are now here counter flow arrangement TH1 TC2 on one side, okay, whereas in parallel flow TH1 and TC1 on the same side, okay, and TH2 and TC2 on the same side. So I will take the diagram, parallel flow diagram. Meanwhile, if you know that, then you can calculate that, no issue. Theta 1 and theta 2. Parallel flow. Okay, so this is the parallel flow. Okay, so here you need not to draw the complete diagram. Okay, so you just draw the schematic diagram for the temperature. Okay, schematic diagram for the temperature. So this is the parallel flow. So I am showing this diagram once again because you come to know the difference between parallel flow and counter flow. Okay, so here in case of a parallel flow, theta 1 is nothing but TH1 minus TC1 and theta 2 is nothing but TH2 minus TC2. So once again we have to calculate the theta 1 and theta 2 but for the different formulas. Okay, for the different formulas, or we can say that for the, so here in this case theta 1 is nothing but TH1 minus TC1. So TH1 is 180 and TC1 is 30. So it will become 150 and theta 2 is TH2 minus TC2. TH2 is 130 and TC2 is 80. Okay, so 130 minus 80, that will become a 50. Okay, 50, right? So here we have to check that whether the ratio theta 1 to theta 2 is greater than 1.7 or not. Okay, because we are entering for the LMTD or AMTD. Okay, we have to check that. We have to go for LMTD or AMTD. Okay, so theta 1 divided by theta 2. Okay, so how much it is getting? More than 1.7, right? No, 150 divided by 50. So which is I will directly say which is greater than 1.7. So LMTD. So LMTD. Okay. So the LMTD equation we have to consider. So equation for LMTD is theta suffix m, which is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln of bracket theta 1 divided by theta 2. Okay, theta 1 divided by theta 2. Okay, so calculate theta m. Everyone calculate theta m. So theta 1 is 150 minus theta 2 is 50, and once again ln of 150 divided by 50. Okay, calculate theta m and let me know the value of LMTD theta m. Let me know value of the LMTD theta m. How much you are getting? .74. 91. I'm getting 91.02. One of the answer. Okay. Yes. Yes. Answer I am getting. Okay. 91.02, and its unit is degree Celsius. Right now, because it is a temperature, so its unit is degree Celsius. Now, what is the question? Second question is that for the same heat transfer, whatever we are getting in case of a counter flow heat exchanger, for the same heat transfer, for the same temperature condition, okay, how much area is required for the parallel flow, okay, to transfer the same amount of heat, okay, how much area is required. So once again we have to consider Q is equal to Q is equal to U multiplied by A multiplied by theta m. Okay, here theta is not there, here theta m is there. Okay, so theta m. Put up the values and find out A. Okay, Q already we have calculated. So Q value how much? 610.60 into 10 raised to 3. Here only we have calculated, right? So this much is similar one up to this much area. All equation I will consider. Okay, so 814 area, and here theta m you are getting 91.02. Okay, then calculate area for the parallel flow. So what will be the area? Yes, any answer? How much area? 8.24. Right, 8.24. Great. 8.24 मीटर स्क्वायर. इस प्रॉब्लम से आपको क्या समझ में आया? ओके, कुछ तो सीखना चाहिए इस प्रॉब्लम से. So here, if for the same thermal conditions or the temperature condition, in case of a counter flow heat exchanger, area required is 7.5 meter square to transfer the same amount of heat, and in case of a parallel flow arrangement, the area requirement is 8.24 meter square. Because of that, the counter flow heat exchanger is more effective or provides more effectiveness to transfer the heat, or the less amount of area required to transfer the same amount of heat in case of a counterflow heat exchanger. Okay, less amount of area required to transfer the same amount of heat in case of a counterflow heat exchanger as compared to the parallel flow heat exchanger, as compared to the parallel flow heat exchanger. Okay, and proof is in front of you. Okay, proof is in front of you. So in this manner we have to solve more another two problems in the upcoming lectures. Okay, tomorrow's lecture, and then we will go for the heat exchanger effectiveness and number of transfer unit, that is the NTU method. So we'll stop here because today you are having IC1 paper, so that uh, the time is for your preparation purpose, and then you have to attend the test at 3 p.m. So we'll stop here. If you have any doubt, any question, you can ask, or else you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave the lecture. Remaining students, please put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave.